Dear students, this is lecture number 32 in supply chain management. Let us discuss the questions of the last lecture. The first question is, what are the characteristics of good information? The four characteristics of good information are: first one is information should be accurate. The second one is information accessible at the right time. Third one, information of right kind should be available. Fourth one, information must be shared. The second question, IT in the context of supply chain management consists of dash, dash and dash throughout a supply chain. The answer is hardware, software and people. Third one, name the three major operations of IT in supply chain management. The three major operations of IT in supply chain management are gather, analyze and execute. Now let us discuss the supply chain IT framework. We develop a framework that managers can use to understand the role of IT within the supply chain. That is, the software engineers develop a framework so that managers can use to understand the role of IT, information technology, in the supply chain and how it can help the supply chain in terms of its operations and performance. At its core, information technology provides access and reporting of supply chain transaction data. That is, the most essential part of information technology is to provide access and report the transaction data in supply chain system. Then, based on the transaction data, more advanced information technology systems layer on this as a base different level of analytics that uses the transaction data to proactively improve the supply chain performance. For example, as a baseline, good IT systems will record and report demand, inventory and fulfillment information for Amazon. That is, as a baseline, we should access and record the various transaction takes place in terms of demand, inventory or warehousing or fulfillment information, or any kind of transaction takes place in the particular business or firm or company. For example, here Amazon. IT systems that provide analytics then allow the Amazon to take managerial decisions and decide whether to open new distribution center and how to stock them, like that. The supply chain macro processes. Three macro supply chain processes are: the first one is customer relationship management. Shortly, it is called as CRM. Processes that focus on downstream interactions between the enterprise and its customers. CRM deals with all types of transactions takes place starting from the manufacturer and going towards downstream, that is manufacturer, then wholesaler, distributors, retailers, finally up to the end consumers or customers. The IT in CRM will record all kinds of transactions takes place between the different stages in the supply chain system and analyze them for better performance. The second one is internal supply chain management, shortly called as ISCM. Processes that focus on internal operations within the enterprise. Note that the software industry commonly calls this supply chain management, mostly without the word internal, even though the focus is entirely within the enterprise. So, this ISCM will deal with the transactions takes place within the enterprise, mostly in manufacturer, or the firm may get the products from third party and it may sell to the different customers also. So the ISCM will deal with the internal transactions. So in our definition, supply chain management includes all three macro processes: CRM, ISCM, and the last one is SRM. The last one is supplier relationship management, shortly called as SRM. Processes that focus on upstream interaction between the enterprise and its suppliers. So this SRM will deal with the transaction takes place between the manufacturer or particular firm or company with its suppliers. So we know already the suppliers are the one who supplies raw materials or components or finished goods, products, or deliver any kind of service. They will come under this category of suppliers. The information technology in supply chain management will record all types of transaction takes place in all these three supply chain macro processes, that is CRM, ISCM, and SRM, and provides as a baseline for further analytics in supply chain management to improve the performance of supply chain system. The information technology may also automate some of the activities of these processes: CRM, ISCM, and SRM. Automation will reduce the human intervention and reduce the time taken for the task. So it improves the performance of the supply chain system. IT in supply chain. Let us watch a video on automation in supply chain with the use of computers and software in Alibaba, a Chinese multinational company involved in e-commerce, retail, internet, and technology. In continuation to that, Let us watch another video on automation in supply chain with the use of computers, hardware, and software in DHL, global market leader in logistics industry with headquarters in Germany.
Technology has always played an integral part in further improving warehouse operations. With the rise of augmented reality, we're about to take a leap ahead. DHL and Ricoh have piloted vision picking to drive the next wave of supply chain innovation that simplifies operations.
Vision picking is essentially equipping pickers with smart glasses that enable complete hands-free order picking. Today, we're using a mix of handheld scanners and a paper pick list, but we think we can make this process leaner and also more user-friendly by taking a paper and hands-free approach.
Vision picking can greatly increase productivity, reduce errors, and support our employees in their daily work. To find the best solution, we teamed up with Ubimax, the leading experts on wearable computing. Their vision picking solution is the most mature and flexible on the market, and we're easily able to tailor this to our environment and deploy it on the Vuzix and Google glasses.
Now the order picker can easily log in and begin picking by scanning the next available trolley. Using Ubimax's innovative user interface, task information is displayed clearly in front of his eyes. The trolley is also displayed graphically, so that the picker sees instantly what needs to go where. This could provide a much faster, more accurate, and user-friendly approach to order picking compared to standard paper pick lists and handheld scanners. Our first pilot proved a significant performance increase due to time efficiency and error reduction. It also received high scores from the pickers regarding user acceptance and usability.
Here at Ricoh, we're always looking to further improve our processes and implement new technologies into our warehouse. We are proud to have DHL as our innovation partner to jointly test this together.
This is just the first step in our innovation journey. In the future, we see augmented reality also playing a role in other parts of the supply chain. We look forward to continuing to bring innovation to our customers.
Computers and software were used in supply chain to computerize the transactions takes place between the various stages of supply chain management. After watching the previous two videos, we could understand that how information technology provides automation of various activities in the processes of supply chain management. Now we will see what is the baseline or origin of IT process in supply chain management. All operation and analytics related to the macro processes rest on the Transaction Management Foundation, shortly called as TMF, which includes basic enterprise resource planning systems and its components such as financials and human resources, infrastructure software, and integration software. The Transaction Management Foundation (TMF) is the base for whole IT process in the supply chain management, and it is very important one to establish better IT framework in supply chain management system. Transaction Management Foundation (TMF) software is necessary for the three macro processes to function and to communicate with one another. We have already discussed three macro processes, that is CRM, ISCM, and SRM. To make all these three macro processes to function, TMF acts as a base, and it is very much required to have communication with one another. The diagram shows the structure of IT framework in supply chain management system. As we could observe, in the base Transaction Management Foundation TMF is there. It is used in all the stages of supply chain management, and it records the data in various stages of the supply chain, and it provides the data to the various macro processes as and when it is required, and also in different formats as needed by the particular macro process. From the diagram, we could also understand the macro processes: CRM, Customer Relationship Management; ISCM, Internal Supply Chain Management; and SRM, Supplier Relationship Management. All these macro processes works based on the TMF. So, TMF, Transaction Management Foundation, is the most essential part of IT framework in a supply chain management system, because the efficiency of the three macro processes: CRM, ISCM, and SRM, and the total effectiveness of IT framework in a supply chain relies on TMF only. Next, we see why to focus on these three macro processes. As the performance of an enterprise becomes more closely linked to the performance of its supply chain, it is crucial that firms focus on these macro processes. If you take the performance of any company or firm, it is closely linked to the performance of its supply chain. So, if you want to improve the performance of the concern or a firm or company, it is very much important for a company to focus on this macro process. Good supply chain management is not a zero sum game in which one stage of the supply chain increases profits at the expense of another. Now we will see the meaning of the term zero sum game. Zero sum game means in a game, the gain of one person is equal to the loss of another person in this game. That is what we call it as zero sum game. Gambling is an example for zero sum game. For example, in playing cards rummy game, one person wins. His profit is equal to the combined loss of other players in the same playing cards game. But supply chain management is not like that. It is not a zero sum game. That is, one person's or one stage profit is not equal to the loss of another stage in the supply chain. That is, if there is a loss in one stage, it will also get reflected in other stages also. So, good supply chain management instead attempts to grow the supply chain surplus, which requires each firm to expand the scope beyond internal processes and look at the entire supply chain in terms of the three macro processes to achieve breakthrough performance. As we have discussed, supply chain management is not a zero sum game. So, the good supply chain management should attempt to increase the supply chain surplus so that to expand the scope beyond internal process and look at the growth of entire supply chain in terms of all the macro process in the supply chain management so that to achieve breakthrough performance. In the nutshell, a good supply chain coordinates all the macro processes across all stages. Students, answer for these questions.